Welcome. The MiOpenBook project is an ongoing, funded as part of the statewide Technology Readiness Infrastructure Grant, or TRIG grant, which empowered master teachers in Michigan to come together, collaborate, and develop an online open education K-12 interactive textbooks resource for use in classrooms around Michigan. So why use MiOpenBook? For 4 reasons. 1, aligned content. MiOpenBook represents the content that students need to learn and teachers need to teach. 2, it's aligned to the C3 framework. So you will see the 4 dimensions reflected in MiOpenBook, driven by compelling questions, the content and skills that students need to know, students being asked to evaluate and analyze sources, and students being asked to communicate what they've learned. Also, you'll see correlation guides or teacher guides with MiOpenBooks and their use. So you'll see MiOpenBooks in relation to the MC3 curriculum, or c3teachers.org, the Giants curriculum, or use with the past assessment project. You also have the ability with MiOpenBooks to edit the text to create a hybrid. All very powerful reasons that are using MiOpenBooks. So no resource is perfect, but taken all together, MiOpenBook is a powerful resource to provide online instruction. So let's hear from a teacher to show you how it's done.
Thank you, David. I'm so excited about this resource as it is free, it is online, it will help you in the classroom, but it will also help you as we distance teach as well. We wrote it with the eye of a teacher. And as David said, this is a live document that can be updated versus a regular textbook. And so if you are new to a grade level, or if you're going through a curriculum review, or you're looking for additional resource, the MiOpenBook is perfect for teachers, okay? The first thing that we're gonna show you today is how do we log on? How do we navigate this particular toolbar? The first thing that we want teachers to do is to go to the Join the Listserv, okay? And this you will fill out, it's just a few questions. It will be your first name, your email address, what ISD you are a part of, grade levels, and then you'll hit submit. Your information is not sold. It will not become part of a listserv outside of the Michigan Open Book Project. This is purely for data. Where are the books being used throughout the state, okay? So there will be no email, we promise, that does not come from the Michigan Open Book. Okay, so once you've joined the listserv, and you'll do this once a year, then the content is open for you, okay? The first thing that we'd like to show you are the books. And this shows you that we have kindergarten all the way through high school. And as David talked, this is aligned. These books are aligned. This content is aligned. For the sake today, we're going to look at 1 grade level, and we're going to start with a 5th grade. So once you go to the books, you're going to click your particular grade level, and we chose to pull up US history. Love it. So this will look different depending on the technology that you have. If you have iPads in your classroom, this will look right like a book, and the students will be able to flip through the pages just like a textbook. If you have a Chromebook or a desktop or another modality, it will look flat as it is here. And the front, the beginning will show you the authors. These are teachers throughout the state who came together to write the Michigan Open Book. What we like about this is the organization of the chapters. So this particular chapter, colonization and settlement, will always begin with a guided inquiry question. Focus the learning for the students. And this particular chapter, why did different colony regions develop? How did the regions impact life in the emerging nation? And so then we'll go to the actual text. Again, it'll start with the guided inquiry and the vocabulary. We have found with all readers, but particularly readers who may not have that background vocabulary, introducing it prior is an excellent way to make sure that they are set up for success. The readability level is on grade level, okay? You will also find within each chapter interactive pieces, whether it's an interactive map or an interactive video. And we found that with students, this really captures their attention. It brings it to life. For example, speaking of Christopher Columbus, this particular interactive piece, after completing this activity, compare when Columbus landed to where he intended to travel. So let's take a look. First, circle where Columbus was trying to go to, then plot his 4 voyages. So the kids can choose a color, okay? And they can show by drawing on there, and this would be an excellent formative assessment for kids to show. And to clear that out, we're just going to reload that page. So if they didn't feel that they had that accurate the first time, they can go back, share it with each other, and share with their teacher. I love the interactive nature of that. One caveat for you about this book. Once that a student or the teacher has clicked on one of the interactive activities, it always takes you back up to the top of the book. That's just the way that the platform was set up. So I always kind of look at what page I'm on with kids, okay? Each area would have a title for this particular section, and they also have focus questions, okay? And they could be a formative assessment for students to show that, to write about it, okay? So here we have an interactive video, learn about New France. There are internet requirements. And so previewing these as a teacher allows you to know, does this particular piece run with our district's configuration, or would I have to talk to the tech department to make sure that everything is accessible? Okay. And this is a YouTube video. Okay, so we're going to go back, and again, it's going to take us up to the top of the text. One other wonderful thing is to pull this up on a smartboard. If you wanted to focus the reading and focus the questions for the students, or you could read this out loud to your students first before they go and they practice the reading, that would be wonderful as well. Okay. And we have another interactive on Jamestown. Okay, now you may find that, and sometimes I find that with my district, and it's just communicating with your tech department. Hey, why did we hit this particular wall? How can we do a workaround with it? Okay, so again, you're going to see that you have guiding questions. There is a lot of text, and at times it can get very meaty. And if you're focusing on one particular piece of time in history or one particular topic, you can absolutely take a screenshot, put that on a document, pull it up on your smartboard, or provide that to students so that they maybe don't feel overwhelmed by the amount of text in that particular chapter, depending on the level of your students. Okay, so as you can see, there's lots of opportunity each page to have an interactive experience with the content, which is what we wanted it to bring it to life for kids, to make it interactive and not to have history be that flat experience. I'm going to take you to the very end of this particular chapter. and show you that at the end of a chapter, they have possible culminating activities. You could take a look at, you know what, this would be wonderful for my class, or maybe I could adapt it, or maybe I could tell the students to show me what they've learned with their own choice. But number one here, you have creating a report of the push-pull factors. Number two, having them create a travel brochure. Or number three, creating a chart of information. And again, if we're doing distance learning, these would be wonderful activities for the students to show their mastery of the content, and also creativity in doing so. Okay. So we're envisioning this as a wonderful in-class resource, but also as an online resource. Okay. So if we go back to the main site, the first thing that we did is we joined that listserv. Then we took a look at the books, the texts that were available. And the third thing that we're going to show you are the teacher guides. And they're correlated of how the MC3 that they taught. And then you're going to see, let's go to 5th grade again, the teacher guide. Okay, so this document shows that it was revised and how each chapter in each unit has that particular standard. So the teacher guide is built right in, which is wonderful. And as you have to show evidence of your standards, it is all aligned right here. So we know that this is a fantastic opportunity. Michelle, was there anything you wanted to add?
Sure. I do have a question for you. When I consider the fact that increasing a child's background knowledge of science and social studies can lead to literacy achievement as well, I'm just wondering how important you feel social studies instruction is during this time of remote learning.
Absolutely. And we can dovetail the literacy element with the social studies. And we should be teaching our literacy through the content.
So it sounds as if you're really lifting the importance of just making sure they're getting that content information and that they're taking the time to really read those resources that are at grade level.
Absolutely.
I'd like to thank Anne for sharing her thoughts and guide us through the use of the MiOpenBooks. I want to stress again just how important literacy is in social studies. It's an integral part of social studies. In a sense, they're one and the same. Of how we gain knowledge and how you interact with it is via literacy. And I referenced the C3 framework and the importance of students evaluating and analyzing sources, communicating what they've learned. They're all part of literacy. So very, very important to us. Thank you, everybody.